You've probably heard the rumor that Coca-Cola invented the modern day Santa Claus, right? You know, the jolly white bearded guy in the bright red suit. Well, what if I told you that that's not quite right? The real story is way more interesting. It's not a simple tale of invention, but a masterclass in how a corporation can take over a beloved cultural icon. We're going to break down how Coke's brilliant marketing didn't just sell soda, it forever changed the image of Christmas. Back in the 1920s, Coca-Cola had a seasonal slump. People saw their drink as the perfect refreshment for a hot summer day, but once winter hit, their sales literally froze over. And it makes sense. Who craves an ice-cold drink after coming home from the snow? The company needed to forge a powerful connection between Coke and the winter season. Their solution? Weave their brand into the very fabric of the biggest holiday of the year, Christmas. And they plan to do it by claiming its most famous ambassador. Now, before the 1930s, Santa Claus was all over the place. Sometimes he was a tall, thin man. Other times he was a spooky-looking elf. He wore coats of all different colors. Tan, green, and blue were common, while artists like Thomas Nast had drawn him in a red suit as early as the 1860s. There was no single universally accepted look. This inconsistency was Coca-Cola's golden opportunity in 1931. They hired an illustrator named Haddon Sundblom for a huge new campaign ad, and their mission was to create a warm, wholesome, and definitive Santa. Taking inspiration from the 1822 poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," Sundblom painted a friendly grandfatherly figure with rosy cheeks, a big belly, and kind twinkling eyes. And this Santa was always seen pausing on his busiest night of the year to enjoy a refreshing Coca-Cola. Now here's the biggest myth, that Coke changed Santa's suit to red to match its brand colors. It's just not true. The red-suited Santa already existed. What Coca-Cola actually did was far more powerful. Through relentless repetition in major magazines like the Saturday Evening Post and National Geographic, they didn't just present a version of Santa, they presented the version of Santa. For over 30 years, from 1931 to 1964, Sundblom's Santa was beamed into millions of homes, cementing one specific image in the world's collective mind. Hey guys, Santa Tom here. You know, it's pretty wild how a marketing campaign can redefine a cultural legend, isn't it? And if you find this kind of hidden history as fascinating as I do, go ahead and consider hitting that like and subscribe button, because the full impact of this goes way beyond just selling more soda. And if you'd like to hire Santa Tom for your next event, home visit, virtual visit, or pre-recorded message, check out my website at santatomtx.com and let me help you make Christmas memories. The Sundblom ads were a smash hit, and Coke's winter sales soared. But the real effect was cultural. The public became so invested in this version of Santa that they would send letters to Coca-Cola if they noticed small mistakes, like Santa's belt buckle drawn backwards one year. Some kids even started leaving bottles of Coke out on Christmas Eve instead of milk. This campaign essentially commercialized Santa Claus on an unprecedented global scale. The figure of St. Nicholas, once noted in the tradition of charitable gift-giving, was now inseparable from the corporate brand. For generations, this has drawn criticism from people who argue that it turned Christmas into a festival of consumerism, overshadowing its spiritual roots. Through its sustained decades-long campaign, Coca-Cola became the primary promoter of Santa's modern image. Now, the corporate branding of Santa did have some strange and unexpected ripple effects. As Santa became a more commercialized symbol, he drew fire from some groups who felt he was distracting from the traditional meaning of Christmas. But in a bizarre twist of fate, a technological mix-up helped solidify his place in modern culture. In 1955, a Sears ad mistakenly printed the phone number for the Continental Air Defense Command instead of the Santa hotline. When the kids started calling, the commander on duty, Colonel Harry Shute, decided to play along. He ordered his staff to give out updates on Santa's location. This single accident gave birth to the NORAD Tracks Santa program, a beloved tradition that still continues to this day as a massive community outreach program run by the Department of Defense. So did Coca-Cola invent the Santa we know today? No. But they didn't have to. They saw a folk hero with an inconsistent image, and through one of the most successful long-running ad campaigns in history, they standardized him. They didn't create the man in the red suit, but they did make that red suit iconic. And in doing so, they turned Santa Claus into a universally recognized symbol of holiday cheer. By extension, a global salesman for their product. It's a powerful lesson in how branding doesn't just sell products, it can capture and redefine the stories we tell ourselves.